Hey guys, it's Home from Wrestling Inc. back with another wrestling news roundup. Without any further ado, let's get into today's biggest stories in the world of professional wrestling. Huge name added to Madison Square Garden WWE Raw. For those anticipating the return of current undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, it seems you won't have to wait for much longer. It was confirmed by PW Insider earlier yesterday that the tribal chief of the Bloodline will be making his return to WWE at the July 25 episode of Monday Night Raw from Madison Square Garden. This will be the first live appearance by Reigns since the June 17 episode of SmackDown, where he successfully defended his title against Riddle and was then confronted by a returning Brock Lesnar, setting the stage for their last man standing match at SummerSlam. Seeing as this is the go-home episode of Raw right before SummerSlam on July 30, it's not much of a surprise that Reigns is showing up at the world's most famous arena to hype the premium live event later in the week. Also advertised for the MSG show is the main event match of Seth Rollins vs Riddle. Whether this will be televised bout or the dark match after the show is still unclear. Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, AJ Styles, Theory and SmackDown's Ronda Rousey are also slated for the show. The report regarding Reigns' scheduled appearance on Raw was echoed last month by Dave Meltzer of Wrestling Observer Radio, who added that it will be the only time the champion will be on Raw pretty much the whole summer. The first sign of Reigns being less active with his WWE schedule happened back on May 22nd following a live event victory against Drew McIntyre. Reigns offered some clarity into what his non-televised schedule could look like moving forward, saying he's, quote, not going to be doing too many live events through the year. That's also been the case when it comes to the WWE Universal Champion appearing on television. Reigns was not booked for WWE's Hell in a Cell premium live event on June 5 or Money in the Bank in Las Vegas this past Saturday, and has only made rare appearances on SmackDown and Raw since his victory on Night 2 of WrestleMania 38. Ric Flair reacts to being added back to WWE signature intro. For those with keen hearing, you may have noticed a slight adjustment to the WWE signature intro before Raw yesterday evening. The incomparable woo from WWE Hall of Famer Ric Flair has been added back into the intro video of WWE programming for the first time since fall 2021. Flair took to Twitter to react to the adjustment, writing, quote, "The most hurtful moment in my entire career was losing my spot. Thank you so much for giving me back my dignity and my life. At WWE, at Vince McMahon, hashtag WWE Raw." Following a Dark Side of the Ring episode titled The Plane Ride from Hell, WWE distanced themselves from the Nature Boy due to new controversy surrounding his name. The show brought up some negative stories about the Nature Boy, including him exposing himself to a flight attendant and, as she alleged, encouraging her to touch his genitals. Not only did they remove Flair from the signature WWE intro, they also removed all of Flair's merchandise from WWE Shop. This was at the time the company began taking pre-orders for a $999 limited edition Flair Legacy replica bout, but the page was deleted. The first sign that things had been smoothed over between Flair and WWE came in the form of an announcement about a 2-hour documentary about, quote, the never-before-revealed history of Flair. Writer, producer, and director Tom Rinaldi, who worked with ESPN, is working with WWE and Flair to produce the documentary for fans of the WWE Hall of Famer. As noted, Flair is also preparing for his final match during StarCast 5 weekend, which will air live on Fight TV on July 31 as a pay-per-view event. The Miz confirms partnership with fellow WWE Raw star. The Miz has made quite the name for himself over the years and has become one of the top superstars in recent memory. He has been able to make the transition from reality star to professional wrestler and pave the way for others, such as recent signee Logan Paul, to be able to do the same. In a match on last night's edition of Raw, AJ Styles faced off against The Miz. Styles picked up the win after hitting the phenomenal forearm, but after the match, Ciampa appeared out of nowhere and launched a surprise attack on Styles. He tossed him under the bottom turnbuckle and into the ring post, but Styles entered back into the ring and took him out via a Pele kick. Styles tried to hit the Styles Clash on Ciampa, but The Miz came in to hit him with a skull-crushing finale. The two stood over Styles and shook hands with one another, confirming their alliance. Until last night, it was unknown what exactly the relationship was between the pair. The duo has been friendly with one another the past few weeks on the Red brand, but it wasn't until last night that they showed signs of being an ongoing team. The WWE Twitter page even posted a picture of the two shaking hands and wrote, quote, "Name this team." The Miz is currently set to collide with Logan Paul at SummerSlam on July 30 in Nashville, Tennessee. The two teamed up at WrestleMania 38 earlier this year to defeat the Mysterios, but after the match, The Miz turned on Paul, and the two have had issues with one another ever since then. After the events of last night's show, the match may become a tag team affair that will see Paul team up with Styles to take on The Miz and Ciampa. WWE once again teases debut of Ezekiel's younger brother on Raw. WWE once again teased the debut of Elrod, the supposed younger brother of Ezekiel and Elias, on the July 4th edition of Monday Night Raw. During the Independence Day cookout segment, Ezekiel would recount an incident from his childhood while chatting with the Street Profits. Quote, "When we were younger, you know Elias, Elrod and myself, we entered a pie eating contest," he told the Profits. When asked about who won the contest, Ezekiel said, quote, "Let's just say no one," while recalling how all three brothers wound up on the floor. "It was a real bath-harama," he added while describing how the contest ended. The conversation would be cut short when Ezekiel accidentally squeezed ketchup on Seth Rollins' shirt, leading to a match. Elrod was once again referenced during the match by the announcers. For 3 consecutive weeks, WWE has made references to Elrod. On the June 20 WWE Raw, Kevin Owens mentioned how he was willing to fight Ezekiel, Elias, or their younger brother Elrod in the match the following week. WWE would then advertise the match as Owens versus one of the 3 brothers across social media. While the match never actually happened, Elrod was once again referenced on the June 27 Raw during the Ezekiel John Cena backstage segments. When asked about the whereabouts of Elias, Ezekiel would tell Cena that his guitar-wielding brother was showing Elrod around the ring, implying that their youngest brother was preparing for his wrestling debut. He would once again reference Elrod while seeking advice from Cena, quote, "I love to walk with Elias and it's incredible to trod with Elrod," Ezekiel told Cena, "but I want to make sure the whole world wants to speak with Zeke. It's probably only a matter of time until Elrod makes his WWE debut." So what are your thoughts on today's Wrestling News Roundup? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Be sure to like and subscribe to Wrestling Inc. and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.